For many of us, a new year means new resolutions. But how can we set ourselves up for success when statistically we're kind of doomed to fail? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode of Souls in Bloom. Hey everyone, I'm Laura.
I'm Kristen.
And this is Souls in Bloom, where Kristen and I have open, candid, unscripted conversations in hopes of inspiring your personal growth. And today we are talking about New Year's resolution because it's New Year's, even though technically we're recording this before Christmas, so we haven't quite gotten there yet. But
we have to pretend.
We'll pretend. Yeah, that's right. So when I said that, like, we're kind of doomed to fail, did you know statistically the success rate of like starting a resolution and sticking to it is 9%?
I figured it would be pretty low, but that's definitely way lower than I imagined. Wow.
Yeah, that's horrible. I thought it'd at least be like at 20 or something.
Right?
9 is awful.
What are we doing?
Yeah, seriously. But I mean, I've failed at resolutions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're part of the 91% of people, I guess. So here's what the stats say. All right, 9% success rate. So this also surprised me. 40% of US adults even set a resolution. Oh. I figured that would be like flip-flopped, like it would be more people are doing it, but
I would think so too. Because I know for me, when the end of the year comes up, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the year. I didn't get to do this, or this. And that kind of brings me into doing a New Year's resolution to be like, oh, wow, maybe I can do this, next year. And that like rolls into a New Year's resolution. So maybe I guess a lot of people don't do that. I definitely thought that number would be higher.
Yeah, sure. I thought so too. And apparently the majority of people that do set them are like young adults. So I mean, but like younger than us, like 35 is like the cutoff. I think it was 18 to 35 is what the one source I saw said is the majority. It doesn't mean that's everybody. It's just most people are young adults and then, above that. But, okay. So unsurprisingly, the majority of the resolutions have to do with health goals. So like the top 3 are exercise more, eat healthier, and weight loss goals.
I was going to ask, did you have a statistic on what the number 1 New Year's resolution is? Because I bet you it's exercise or working out related.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Exercise more. Yep. And I'll admit, I've had that one. That's probably one of those health related ones. Has probably been mine for like infinitely. But, but I have done them. I have moved more and stuff like that and lost weight. But it's hard to say if it's like long-term success or not, because a lot of those times, like, it's hard to have a habit like that indefinitely when like life hits you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just like a million reasons why, like an injury, illness, like life circumstances. You lost your membership to the gym, or you moved. You don't have a gym at your house, whereas you had one at your apartment. Like, there's so many reasons that like you can kind of fall out of the routine. But but anyway.
That's one of my resolutions for the upcoming year is to keep working out.
Yeah, that's good. I need to move more myself. I was doing so well, and then this, whole baby thing happened. Put the kibosh on everything. But after that happens, I'm hoping to move more in general anyway, but okay, so the other ones, other than health, the other ones on the list: try new hobbies. I need a new hobby, like I need a hole in the head, but save money, pursue career ambitions, and then like things like drinking less or like quitting smoking, stuff like that. There's a bunch of other ones. Those are just kind of higher on the list of the other categories outside the health related things.
Saving money is a good one. I don't think I've known anyone that had a New Year's resolution to save money.
Yeah. I don't think I've known anyone to do that either. I've had it as a goal in life, but not like as a resolution.
Right.
which I do like. I'm going to talk about that later, but yeah. So of everybody who makes a resolution, this is really sad. A quarter of them will quit before the end of the first week.
I could see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then roughly 65% quit before the first month is up.
E-
So now this particular source I read constituted like success as 2 years ongoing with your new resolution. I thought that was a lot, but you know, that's good. But that's the 9% I think is that the ones that do it that long. So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
so did you, before we jump into like what we can do to be successful, have you made a resolution other than moving more? Do you have other
Um,
resolutions?
not really. I just want to keep working out and, continue it. Um, I actually like that saving money resolution, so I might incorporate that
Yeah.
into things because I suck at saving money. Like really bad.
Yeah. I'm
I
with
get
you
money and I'm like, what can I spend it on?
there. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because I feel like most people are like, oh man, if I had this amount of money, I would totally get that. Or the object is in your mind first, like, ooh, I really wish I had that. Like, if I ever got enough money, I would totally get one. And then when you have it, it's like, well, there's the funds for it, as opposed to like, okay, maybe I should set this aside for like something more important down the line. It's like, but
mhm.
the thing I've been eyeballing forever
Yeah.
is
And
now
there's
being grasped.
there's always a new thing too to
Mhm.
eyeball.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Yeah, I
always
totally
think
get that.
like, well, okay, so my mom is the saver of the family. My dad is the spender of the family.
Mhm.
And he always told me money is replenishable. Like you're always going to get it back.
Yeah.
So, spend it on what you want, have fun, you live once. And I'm
Right, yeah.
like, okay.
I mean, I can totally get that mentality though, especially if you're a traveler who likes
Yeah.
experiences. You. I'm more of a homebody, but I do like some material things. But my problem is I buy things for other people. I have a big problem with like, oh, so and so would really like this, and
You say it's a problem. I mean, it's not, but I guess it is a
I
little bit.
mean, it kind of is. It's like they don't need it. I don't need to spend the money on it, but like, you know,
I hear you.
and friends and family basically. So like, yeah, I get it. There's like worse things that I could spend money on, but I do every once in a while splurge on like jewelry or something like that.
Mm.
Exhibit A and B, right here.
Nice.
Uh, shout out to Pinky Nikki. I love her jewelry, but anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It is hard to save money. I will, while we're on the topic, I guess I'll tell you this story now. Something that really helped me saving money was the only time I could think where I was like really like my eyes were on a goal. I had to save up a decent amount of money was when I wanted to get my first dog, my first puppy.
Mm.
And now I don't think this was my first so I had this is kind of a sad story, but I had a puppy for a week and it was like unbeknownst to me a puppy mill puppy and he was like really sick when I bought him and he was gone in a week and it was really sad and hard. But after that dog is when I got my first Boston Terrier. And Boston Terriers are not cheap because it's a purebred dog,
Mm.
blah blah blah. They have the big heads, so like the mothers usually have to have C-sections because they
Oh,
can't
wow.
birth the heads. Yeah, they're like apple
Oh, I
heads.
didn't know that.
Yeah, there's like a handful of breeds, like the Frenchies, anything with the really big heads. I think
Yeah.
also Chihuahuas, I want to say, like another one of those apple head breeds. Anyway, so like the dogs are often expensive because you have to cover the cost of that surgery too. I got an envelope and I pasted pictures all over this envelope of puppies. So like anytime, and I was saving cash. This was like, I don't even know what, many, many years ago. I was saving cash. And so every time I like put money into the envelope towards the dog, I'm like looking at these puppies and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have one of my own. And then like it stops you from wanting to take money out because every time you do that, you're like, oh, I'm further away from that goal right there. So
It's true. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I did. I got that dog. Had him for almost 13 years.
Aw. Yeah, I'm definitely going to include that in my resolution because that's something that I definitely need to work on.
Yeah. It's, I mean, you and me both.
Actually, back to the puppy mill thing really quick, not to like completely go off topic here, but I actually just heard that in New York, they are banning puppy mills. So they're shutting down puppy mills, and
Yeah.
any dog in the mills are being transferred to shelters and stuff like that so they could be adopted out.
Yeah.
But yeah, New York is not allowing puppy mills anymore.
Good
So
for them.
right? I'm like, because we actually and mall
Oh,
mall
like
pet
the,
stores. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's usually where the malls get the dogs from is the
Yep.
puppy mills. So
That's true. Interesting. Save all those puppies, but get rid of the pet squirrels. You hear that story about that squirrel up there?
what?
Oh,
No.
I'm not getting into Peanut, but if you guys want to look up Peanut the squirrel, please do. I'll
I'll
tell
look
you
them up
after the
later.
show. Anywho, so all right, getting back on topic. Okay. Oh, so all right. So I guess I'll share my goal. My resolution
Yes.
is to finally tackle. I'm hoping to make videos out of this too. I'm a Laura at Cedar channel. Um, tackle goals of like craft projects because I have a huge problem of collecting materials for projects and then never accomplishing the project. I'll either never start it at all or I'll like begin it and then set it down and then start something new and then set that down and like I've said it before. I'm pretty sure I'm ADD and just have never been diagnosed. Like I've got a lot of symptoms. And that's one of the things like I'm a project hopper. So my goal is to like do them, actually
Yep.
do them and not buy any more freaking materials because I'm like up to my eyeballs in crafting supplies. It's embarrassing. Like if I show, I don't know, I look like a hoarder in my basement. Stuff sitting around. There's like beads and like material. There's yarn. There's like findings for jewelry. There's polymer clay stuff. I'm looking over there because that's where it is. But anywho, so and I know I talked to you about the purse I want to paint. I've been like working on this purse I was going to paint for like months now, and I still haven't done it. I got an outline on it, and then I completely changed my mind on it. That's why I was messaging you about the how to get permanent marker off of
Yep.
purse because I wanted to change the design.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my resolution is to finish some craft projects. But
It's a good one.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, okay, moving right along into the most common reasons for failure. I only have two things written down, so we'll go over these. I think maybe one at a time, if that
Sure.
works.
Yeah.
Most common reason is loss of motivation, which is like really not surprising at all. Obviously, if you had the motivation to do this stuff, you would have done it by now and not waited till the new year starts to like tackle it. Because the New Year's resolution is your motivation right now. That's not good. That's not going to work long term. And then the other, like the trap I think people fall into is like, if you do fail at your New Year's resolution, you're like already in your head that this is going to come up again. And especially the older we get, the faster the years fly by. So it's like, all right, we'll try again next New Year's resolution. You've already given yourself this excuse to like give up, basically.
Yep.
Before you even start.
True.
Or in some cases, apparently not start at all, right, Kristen?
True. Also true.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, what are we talking about exactly?
About the not even trying with a resolution.
Oh, about my sister?
Yes, about your sister, yes.
So I'm actually going to read it, okay? Because we have a group chat between my sister and my cousin and myself. And my cousin was supposed to have we have like a cousin friends giving, like a Thanksgiving with friends and family and stuff like that, like of like cousins and friends that we hang out with and whatever. Right. We couldn't do that before we usually do it in between Christmas and Thanksgiving, but my cousin had something happen with, we won't get into that. She had to cancel. Fine. So she's like, I'm going to actually be busy until, into the new year. And I'm like, well, me too, kind of. So that's fine. And I'm like, oh, that's actually, it might be fun. We can do like a New Year's party, So I was like, I said, we can change it to a start the new year off with family and friends. And my cousin says, I love that idea. And I said, we all need a New Year's resolution that we can share at the party and kind of like get each other motivated and like, going about it. So she says, yes. And then my sister goes, yeah, okay. I never follow them. LOL. So like, you're just like nipping yourself in the butt right away.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have that mentality about it. Like, just because you may not have followed one in the past, or maybe you failed, maybe you started it and stopped or whatever, it doesn't mean that you can't do another one and try again. And my response to her was, that's okay. Maybe start small. So start with like something small and maybe even easy, so that you can complete it and you'll feel great about yourself. And then maybe you can pick something a little bit bigger, like throughout the year. You don't have to wait for the new year for a new resolution or new goal, right?
Yeah.
So it was just like, I was like, don't think of it that way. Like, oh, I never follow them. Like,
yeah. Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're failing before you even try at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if she didn't want to do it, that's one thing. Like, she could have just said, oh, well, I'm not really into that, and that's fine. A lot of people aren't, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But we're kind of just trying to talk about like what we can do to keep you motivated and keep that going so that you can be successful.
Exactly.
Yep.
So some tips for your sister and anyone else who has this problem.
Start small.
What'd you say? Keep it small.
Something small.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of like the number one thing really is, so Kristen and I did a podcast already. Like, actually, our first podcast was about just getting started. And that has a lot of tips on how you can start things, so it doesn't overwhelm you. And I think that would be worth a listen if you guys are, you enjoy hanging out with us. You give that one a listen because it's so relevant to this specific conversation. But yeah, keep it small. Make your goals small. Something easy, like save, $5 a month or whatever. Start out small instead of like, I'm going to save up for a, $10,000 vacation this year. Like,
Well, that's the thing. You want it to be specific. You don't like what I said, oh, I just want to start saving. I need to narrow that down and come up with like a real, like attainable goal. Like you said, $5 a week or $5 a month, or, put like a specificity on it. So you have that to look forward to, and you have that like, factor that is easy to, well, hopefully easy to follow.
Yes, absolutely. Because if you set an unrealistic expectation that's too large, like for example, if you're doing the weight loss thing and you're like, I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year, it's like, okay, let's like take this one little bite-sized chunk at a time.
Yes.
Let's aim for like a pound this month or 2 pounds this month.
Yep.
That might be really low, but eventually, weight loss is funny. Whereas like usually you lose weight initially and then it gets really hard after that. So do your research to keep your goals or your expectations, I should say, like realistic,
Yeah.
Is it realistic to save, half of your paycheck when you need more than half of your bills? Obviously not. So keep your expectations realistic. As far as motivation goes, like I have write down your reasons why. We're really big on like making lists and writing things down, Kristen and I, because once you write it down, it's like, I don't know, there's something about writing things down that makes it more official, more of a thing. I don't know if I mentioned this last time we talked. I can't remember, but like my husband and I have been talking forever about how we should start doing game night with the kids, like once a week game night. We've just been like, we should do a game night once a week. Yeah, we totally should. And then we'll play a game like at some point in time, and then it'll just go on the wayside and we won't do it. So starting 4 weeks ago, I put it on the calendar. Game night, Monday night. It's like game night on the first Monday, and then there's an arrow drawn straight through all the other, or sorry, Mondays. Arrow drawn straight through all the other Mondays, and it says like, game night every Monday this month. And guess what we've done every single week this month? We did our game nights. We've been doing game nights. We had to move it one night because I had to go to the grocery store, but like whatever, we still did it the next night. So like something about writing it down made it happen. It was never going to happen otherwise. So yeah, so write down your goals and write down your reasons why. That is so important when you're looking at motivation. And don't say, please do not write on your motivation list that you want to accomplish your New Year's resolution. That's not a good reason. What you need to write down is why. Why do you want to lose weight? I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to, have more energy to play with my grandkids. I want to, whatever. Yeah. I want to go on this hike because I've never been on it and I haven't been able to do it because I get winded as soon as I walk from the parking lot to the path. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, it helps. It's the visualization of it.
Yes.
Like when you said, when you write it, you're seeing it and it helps to stick better in your head. Yeah. Because I wrote that down too, to talk about not only writing it down, like even creating a vision board and having, or a list. It doesn't have to be like a poster board with pictures from a magazine or whatever. It could just be words that you wrote on there, right, and your why, like one sentence. And then as you complete it, you get that big ass marker and you go, I did it.
That was the biggest Sharpie I've ever seen.
If anyone's listening on Apple, this thing is probably an inch wide.
That's a girthy pen right there.
The tip is only about half an inch, but still, it's a big marker.
Yeah.
And that way you feel good. It's like a to-do list, Don't you feel good when you can check things off a list?
Yes, you do.
So satisfying.
Yeah, I'll speak for everybody on that one. Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it is. It's like the freaking weight loss thing where you have like the 2 jars and you're like, I want to lose 20 pounds. You put 20 marbles in one jar, and every time you lose a pound, you like move it over to the other jar.
Yeah.
Like the lost jar versus the like need to lose jar. It's very satisfying. Yeah. Yes. So not as satisfying having to move it back over when you've put some pounds back on, but but it helps you visualize your goal. And yeah. Yes. And the other thing I wrote down on my list is like, write it down, visit that list often, because you don't want to lose that motivation. That morning when you wake up and you're like, ugh, I really don't feel like picking up a set of weights today. That's when you go visit the motivation list and rediscover your why. Why am I doing this? And then you're like, all right, fine. It's like getting a pep talk from yourself.
It is. You can even put it somewhere where you visit often, like the fridge, or, if you have an office, or your bedroom right in front of your bed on the wall when you wake up, somewhere that you go to often. When I worked at the doctor's office, on the wall next to my desk, I always had a lot of very motivational like sayings or quotes that if I started to get like frustrated or stressed out, I would just look over there and read it and just breathe, So same thing with your vision board or your goal list or even a to-do list. Have it somewhere where you can see it all the time, so that you can see it, you can be reminded of it, and keeps it fresh on your brain.
Yeah, that's good advice. Putting it somewhere. Yeah, that's really good advice. And then we talked about incremental goals versus trying to eat the whole elephant at once. You do it one bite at a time, right?
Yep. A little bit at a time.
And okay, so the vision board thing, what do you physically do that? Have you ever made a vision board? I'm just thinking of like, what can we suggest as far as making something like that? Like you could print out physical pictures.
Yeah.
I don't use it as much as I used to, but I used to love Pinterest. And like,
yeah. I like Pinterest, but the fact that it's like on my phone and I have to like physically go to it and then open it up. Like to me, that's too many steps. Like I need it somewhere like on my office wall or on the fridge or something like that. And it doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be a bunch of magazine clippings because that's hard. I've done that. Like I've created a vision board with like a poster board and bought a bunch of magazines, and you don't even find half the stuff you want to be able to cut out. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So it'd be easier to write a list or get a bigger piece of paper or poster board and just handwrite it, just and use different color markers or something and put like, what you want to get done throughout the year, and maybe even give yourself like not really like a timeline, but like a schedule or like a finish by date, to help the motivation maybe.
Yeah.
Because I do that too. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to do it. And that kind of, especially people that procrastinate.
Were you waiting for me to raise my hand?
It can help. It can help, get your ass in gear.
Yeah.
If you have like a deadline.
That's true. I need to make deadlines for myself. I know that. And then stick with them because I'm so lenient. I'm like, you're not as hard on yourself on deadlines as somebody else might be. So I will say, like, one of my motivations when I was losing weight. So after my first kid, I lost like 40 pounds or something. I was in the best shape of my life. I was doing mud runs. Like I felt great.
Nice.
And there's a picture of me at one of these mud runs, like in the best physical shape I've ever been in my life, like including when I was young. Like I had never been as physically fit as I was. So when I'm on these weight loss goals, I'll take, and sorry for clearing my throat, y'all. I'm like at the tail end of a cold. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I feel like I clear my throat so much. But anyway, that one picture I'll put on my mirror, like in my bathroom mirror. So it's someplace that I will see it every day. Like, we're going to get back there eventually.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anytime soon now that I'm on the expanding trend, but eventually I do want to get back there because I know I felt great. And I look at that picture and it's like, yeah, that was awesome. Like I felt so good in that picture. Not just my appearance, but I like physically, I felt so healthy. So like something like that, you're trying to save up for a car or whatever, just like a solitary picture somewhere like Kristen said, where you're going to see it all the time to remind you.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yep.
What else?
Okay. So, the other reason, stumbling over here. The other top reason is people say they're too busy to accomplish their resolution.
I don't have enough time.
Yeah. I'm just going to make this resolution. It's like you already know before going into it what your schedule looks like. So that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
You got to make the time. So I don't know. This kind of goes back into writing stuff down again. And actually it kind of goes back to the game night thing. Figure it out on your schedule, write it down, make the time.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get it done.
Right.
And do it maybe even before like you start trying to do whatever the goal is, schedule it out. Like don't just wake up and get a gym membership and then like go when it fits into your schedule that week. Like you should go to the gym with in mind that like you're going to get up early every Monday and Thursday and hit that gym before work or whatever. Like write it down, have it as like part of your schedule. Cause this is actually, I heard this quote recently. I was like, dang, that's really accurate. It was something about like people that lack motivation, it's not motivation, it's discipline. And it's not necessarily even just discipline, it's also routine. Like once you make it part of your routine, that is when you stick to it. If you just sit around and wait to be motivated to work out every single time, you're setting yourself up for failure like right off the bat. But if you set yourself up with a new routine, you might be more successful that way.
That's literally one of the bullet points I had wrote down, is to
Nice.
develop a routine with your resolution.
Yeah.
But not even just like a whole routine or schedule, just pair it with something that you're already doing. Like, for example, I work out as soon as I get up. Well, not like as soon as I get up, but that's the first thing I do. So I get up, I, go to the bathroom, whatever. I change. Usually I just change into shorts or something, and I get on the bike. And that way it's out of the way first thing in the morning, and it's kind of like a fasted workout. So now the first thing after that, I have a really nice breakfast, really healthy, whatever.
Yeah.
So if you pair it with something like, let's say, on my lunch break, I'm going to take a walk around the block. It'll also help you remember to do that goal or task or whatever when you pair it with something that you're already doing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I had, because it's like a routine. You're just kind of adding it into what you're already doing to give yourself that reminder to do it.
Yeah.
Like, some people take a pill at dinner, and every time they have dinner, gotta take my pill,
Yeah. That's true.
And hey, if you even I don't have Alexa, but I'm pretty sure Alexa can remind you to do things. Like, you can say, like, hey, Alexa, can you remind me to take my walk at 10:30 tomorrow morning or whatever,
Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah,
have
you can. I mean, anyone with a smartphone can set up a reminder on
yeah,
their phone.
you can set an alarm on your phone, whatever, anything that can help you, jump start that motivation into, or remind you to get you into that routine and habit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I oh no, that was a different point. Making time by getting up earlier. That was one of my bullet points. If you're I don't know, that would be tough for me. I'm not a morning person. I did try to do the whole working out in the morning thing. I was more successful with it, but not getting myself up earlier. That
Mm,
wasn't working for me, but just making it like you do, like the pretty
yeah,
much the first thing you do when you wake up. You wake up, I don't
yeah,
well, I get up, get a glass of water, kind of like become more conscious
yeah,
and then get into workout clothes and then work out. I've
yeah,
found that workout clothes has really helped for me. It's like something about physically changing the appearance, because I used to just work out in like t-shirts and like, shorts that I slept in or something like that.
yeah,
But something about I got these like kind of like yoga pants, but they're short. They're like bike shorts, I guess, kind of sort of,
yeah,
but not with a padded butt. I don't know what you call them. With that, and then like I had a fitted like workout shirt with like a shelf bra in the shirt, so I didn't have to wear sports bras because I hate them. But and it was like something about wearing the actual physical outfit. It was like, all right, I'm dressed, I'm ready to do this. I'm putting
yeah.
on workout shoes, like
Mhm.
devoted to my workouts. That really helped me for that anyway.
Yep,
It just like
absolutely.
got me in the right mindset.
You can have a special song that you play to like get you moving.
Yeah, on that's true. Yeah, you got the motivate. You make yourself a playlist.
There you
I
go.
usually just do workout videos and they have music playing, but yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then, so the last thing I have written down was just if you're lacking time to put effort into whatever your resolution is, have an honest conversation with yourself about where your time is going.
Mm,
Because I think, especially, everybody's got phones, internet access, blah, blah, blah. I would be willing to bet that the majority of people listening to this podcast right now waste time on their phone or waste time
oh,
surfing the internet or watching videos or doing something that's completely unrelated to any of your life goals. Yeah, see?
I mean, I think we're all guilty. I think we're all
Yeah,
guilty of falling into a scroll hole on the
a scroll.
on the social media
I
webs.
haven't heard that. It's true though. I mean, I've done it. I've done it a million times.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally guilty of it. And I know, if I'm honest with myself, I could probably sacrifice very easily, 30 minutes a day to
Mhm.
devote towards an exercise routine versus just dicking around on the internet or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, there's so many times where I'm just like, looking for deals for stuff on eBay, or like, random crap I don't need anyway. Or I'll do this a lot. I'll put on which I don't necessarily consider a waste of time, but I do put on YouTube videos in crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll just chill and crochet, but I could sacrifice 30 minutes of crocheting so that I can, be healthier. Like
And
it doesn't even have to be every day. What'd you say?
get to that other craft that you were working on
Yeah,
too.
that's right. My other 17 crafts that I need to do.
You gotta like circulate them, rotate them in and out.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out something. That's what scheduling's for. Schedule. Week. This week we're working on a sewing craft.
Or each
we're
week.
gonna work on a painting.
Yes.
I fear my upcoming schedule. But whatever. That's beside the point. All that to say, we can make more time for the things that are important in our goals.
Yes.
Like we can. You will figure it out. And because that's what humans do. And it, like I said, it doesn't even have to be every day. If we're doing goals like healthier eating, or like, I don't know, I'm very curious, like when does too busy come into play with any of these other than working out? How are you too busy to eat healthier? How? Tell me.
I think it's just an excuse. It's just something easy someone can say. Oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time.
Yeah.
It's just easy to say that. So
that's true.
And easy
maybe you don't have time to shop for the healthy food, or like, what was the other one? Oh, weight loss. See, it's like that kind of ties into both eating better and exercising more is the weight loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can do it. That's the bottom line of this entire podcast. You can do it if you set your mind to it.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I truly believe that. I really think that there's not much that humans can accomplish if they actually truly put effort towards it.
Yep,
that's
absolutely.
how I feel about it. So yep. That's my final note right there. You can do it. You put the work in.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I mean, and even like something that I do to kind of help me with my working out, like kind of almost like an accountability type of thing. Like I'll post about it on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So like that's kind of like my proof. Like, hey, I'm doing it. Like I'm gonna here's like a little story, little 1 minute video of me, whatever. So even if accountability helps too, maybe find a friend or post on Facebook, on Instagram. People love that stuff. Like they're going to help you out. They're going to be like, go girl, or whatever,
Yeah, for sure.
So if that helps too, definitely,
Yeah.
But, and let us know in the comments, like what are your resolutions? Let us know.
I'm so curious about that. What their resolutions are, if you have any. Yeah. Or even just goals for the year. It doesn't have to be like some life altering thing.
And like I mentioned to my sister, just pick something simple, if anything. Nice and easy, simple, that you can complete. And then that will make you feel better. It'll give you confidence, and maybe you can tackle something else after that. Yeah,
that's true. Maybe your resolution could be a small resolution, and to make a new resolution that is also small after that first one. It's like a ripple effect resolution. Each time you complete one, you set a goal for something else a little slightly more challenging.
There you go.
I don't know. But anyhow. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. So we were talking before the show. This podcast has previously been streamed, or not streamed, but what would you call that? Played on the Lore Etc. channel. This will be the first podcast that's exclusive to the new Souls in Bloom YouTube channel. So please check. If you guys want to support the channel, just hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. We love to read them. Kristen and I both read them. And if you want to support us, go visit our channels. I'll link those in the description box as well. And also, side comment, we are on Apple Podcasts if you prefer to listen and not watch. And that's going to be it for this one. So next one will be in 2 weeks, and we hope to see you there. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. All there is to say now is bye. Bye, everybody.